Graham. That was great. And we try and be grittier from now on. Now I'd like to introduce Cathrine Page of TLCPage, Integrative Health and Wellness. Cathrine is a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, acupuncturist, Tai Chi instructor, and wellness warrior. Cathrine knows it all happens for a reason. The lessons and the learning are all part of the journey. A legacy comes with all the wisdom shared. Cathrine states in her blog that the story that got me here is a great one, with many healers and teachers along the way. I like to share what I learn, give back as much as I can, and assist others in finding their path. A true teacher remains a student, so I keep myself open to any opportunities that cross my path and then share them to keep the cycle of giving turning. The title of Cathrine's talk is The Path, the Journey, and the Evolving Destination. Take it away, Cathrine.
Thank you, Joan. Thank you, Belle and Lucas, for organizing this. Thank you, Marge, for throwing me in the fires. Marge is kind of the key point of where I'm going to go tonight. I'm a rural farm girl, and I'm going to talk about how a rural farm girl from a town of 400 people becomes a TCM doctor running 3 corporations and 3 businesses at 44. How did I get here? It's a path, it's a journey, and it's a crazy evolving destination. I have to start at the beginning. I'm not supposed to be here. My parents were given the choice. Pick the mom, pick the baby. Which one do you want? My dad swears to goodness that I heard the doctor. My mom says I ripped myself out and I've been fighting ever since, and here I am. So we keep going. What happens though when you're the baby that wasn't supposed to be here? Something's wrong. And I've been sick for a long time. My parents tried everything from over-the-counter medicines to old traditional Celtic remedies, because that's one side of my family, to my Native American grandmother making me taste concoctions that no human should ever have to take. And yes, I still know how to make them all. I have been burned with more mustard plasters than any human ever needs to be given. Yeah, you know what they're like. It's awful. But you keep going, they've tried everything. They couldn't understand why I was in pain, they couldn't understand why I was sick, they couldn't understand why I'd be great one day and terrible the next. We just kept going. We kept looking, we kept searching. I started in the martial arts early just to do something to keep my mind busy. They got me doing meditation so I could learn to control the pain, to be able to focus and go forward. We had family businesses. My father has built houses since the day I can remember. Every one of us kids was involved in some way or manner. To this day, I'm better with a hammer than I am with anything else in my world. And people are like, you build what? I don't know. I get bored. I do stuff. So we learned it from insides and outs. Probably in my teenage years, I had somewhere along there, they finally said it was time for some surgery to figure out what the world could do. That was their biggest mistake. That's how they found out I was allergic to everything. There's currently a very large red flag on my lovely little kit that says, do not anesthetic this woman. She will punch you, kick you, and rip every tube out that you've put in her. So they no longer give me anesthetic anymore. It's a nice little flag, so it's good. But it gave us an answer. I was allergic to stuff, a lot of stuff. So it helped figure things out. So we kept doing things. We got rid of all the over-the-counter stuff, went strictly natural, and that's how my natural process started. So I just kept doing stuff. I took every opportunity that came. I got fun and funky. I'm a bit of an artist on one side and very logical on my other side. I'm not part of the norm in a small country village. I didn't quite fit in. I had to have weird clothing and colored hair and all that crazy stuff. And I ended up opening my first business at about 13 because I just designed clothing that no one else would like. And people were like, I love that. And I'm like, you can't have it, it's mine. I had piano keys down the side, all kinds of funky things. People were like, I want a pair of those. Where do you get them? You can't, they're mine. So eventually I did some selling and did some stuff like that. So I did all kinds of designing and stuff, and a few of my girlfriends were involved. And one of my girlfriends now is the head designer of a company that we started 25 years ago. And she does her thing. I just, every once in a while, hey, try this. Something I can play around with. As I grew up and my parents got us more involved in business and we did things, A lot of people don't know that my grandmother and my father are both hearing impaired. So English is not my first language nor my second language. We learned to sign first. We had to communicate in our house. So I talk a lot with my hands. You'll see I usually tend to hold my hands so I don't talk as much with my hands because that's how I know how to talk. So that ended up being my second business. I worked with kids and families who were just like my family, who didn't have people who could communicate to the outside world. In a rural community, you don't have a lot of people who can talk to each other and to get all the information out. So I started signing, and away I went. Doing that on my little sidelines, kind of working with kids and all that kind of thing. I taught kids martial arts. We taught kids Tai Chi. It got into me teaching them how to work with their bodies and their minds versus trying just to sit there in front of video games, which made me crazy. So my father finally said to me, he says, "What the hell are you going to do with your life, kid?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Doing all kinds of stuff." He's like, "You got to go to college. You got to go to university." Kind of like the goal setter, got to do something here. So I'm like, "Okay, I signed. Let's do that." So I went to school, I took interpreting, I came out, I opened another business. I had 10 employees running around the entire world. I've traveled everywhere, huge corporations, signing my face off. I can't even tell you the things that I've talked about. My greatest experiences are working with the police department at 3 a.m. when they phone me and say, "Hey, can you come in? We have somebody who's deaf." Huh? Out of my pajamas? Okay. And then you show up at the hospital, and this poor lady's got her arm cut, and she's signing away at me, and there's blood flying everywhere. And all I could look at the cop and said, "You got to sew that crap up first." Or I'm out. It's 3 a.m., dude. I can only handle so much. So I've had some really great fun experience, but everything is like a learning piece. You pull it in, you pull it in, you pull in more stuff. Well, everything was great. I was running at 100 miles an hour, decided to go back to school, do my master's in psych, get it all finished up. Bam! 29 diagnosed with cancer. And nobody knows why. It just hit me like a stone. Can't take medications. Can't take anything over the counter. Can't take chemo. Can't take it all. Can't take radiation. What do? My family, who's crazy and all natural, starts to research like nuts. Every time I turn around, I get a text message from my dad. "What do you think? You should try taking this." "Oh, for God's sakes. No, you should drink orange juice before you eat this." And da-da-da. I'm like, oh my God. Finally, hilariously enough, at the same time I met my current husband. Well, my only husband. But the first one didn't work out so well. We call it the great disengagement in our house. My dad still calls him It. Remember when she was with It? I met my husband. I think we've been dating like a couple months, and I got diagnosed, and he had just lost his mom to cancer, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's gonna go, because who knows what's gonna happen, and how this is gonna work out. They can't do surgery. Well, they can do surgery, but I can't be put out. So they froze me. Woo-hoo. Took it out. Crazy girl. Only person in the room. Whole bunch of people at the waiting room. "Hey, can I see what you took out?" My poor husband is in the waiting room going, "Oh." And everybody starts looking around like, who does that belong to that wants to see what they just cut out of their body? My husband raises his hand. "Don't look to me." He learned very early on what he was going to deal with. So they cut it out. I did a little bit of steroids. At the time, my husband introduced me to this nice little old Chinese man. And I went to see him. And he started poking me with needles and making me take more weird concoctions. And I am now 16 years cancer-free. For a couple of years, we talked about everything I know and do, and all the things I've researched, and the natural way I have lived, and all that kind of stuff. And he finally just said to me, he says, "You know, you really should just stick around." So I stuck around. For 10 years, I stood at his side, learning everything I possibly could, traveling with him as much as I can, and sucking in all the information I could possibly get. And that's where I am today. That's why I do the TCM. This is how I got here. Everything and every opportunity I've had with the group home work I've done, with the businesses I've run, has given me the abilities to get here, to be the wellness warrior that I know I can be for everyone else. It's not about me, it's never been about me. 3 years ago, my greatest challenge came. And everything I've been a wellness warrior about came into play. My dad got diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer terminal. And here's his daughter. Ooh. They told him 6 months. That's all you got. And he came to me, not really being fond of acupuncture, because he'd already had a bad experience with one of those crazy people. And he said, what do you got? I said, I've looked at the x-rays. I have looked at everything, Dad. I can't save you. Straight up, I can't do it. I can give you time. That's it. I can give you time because this one, when it's connected to your brainstem, I don't got nothing. But I can give you time. So we took 6 months, stretched it into 3 years. No pain, no sicknesses, no discomfort. Got through all of his chemo and radiation without a single option or problems. He got to do his whole bucket list, and I took him everywhere on crazy planes, and he was still hitting on stewardesses. Dude. And it was good. He passed away this January. We spent an amazing amount of time together, the best 3 years of my life. The jokes that I've got to tell you from that old man will kill you. He used to walk around and tell people, my brain tumor made me do it. And get away with it. Yeah. People start talking about stupid stuff downtown, and he'd be like, I'm dying, shut up. Dad, no couth. He's like me, he's a straight shooter. I have his sense of humor and all those things, but everything you do is the passion that comes with you. Every piece, don't take as a flash. There is something, a lesson in there to be learned, something to gather, a piece of information. I can't tell you the arsenal that I pulled out over the last 3 years to get my parents through what they had to go through. It is amazing. And you are the warrior. You are the author to how you will be and how you feel. The shell is just the shell. The insides are what matter. If the organs aren't working, I don't care how much you weigh. If the insides don't work, you gotta figure it out. You gotta be your wellness warrior. So my big topic that I always say to people is you have to embrace every moment, every lesson, every teaching, every opportunity. Admit who you are. Show everybody that inner light. Because what wisdom I can give to you, you may not figure it out today, but you may catch on to it tomorrow. Because I can tell you right now, I didn't listen to a damn thing my parents said until I was about 25. And then went, oh, they were right. Shizzle. And then you got to embody the story. Share it. When somebody asks you to tell your story and share the information, you got to do it. Because somebody else can have some sanctity, safety, security in knowing what you've been through or how you've been through it. And it can help them move forward too. So don't be afraid. Talk amongst everybody you know and share what you know, because it's all how we get there. Whether it's about business and giving your opportunities what you did, about your personal life experiences and how you got here, or the true battles you felt yourself to be or become who you are today. So be your wellness warrior and join me. Thank you.